Hey everyone, this is Team Lead Faculty AJ, and I wanted to share some information with you based on the number of emails I get asking questions about how, one, to engage in discussions, two, guide student interactions, three, demonstrate instructional as well as intellectual presence. First and foremost, there are three key things that I think about in discussions. And one, and this is in accordance to the FFR, and that's actively engaging throughout the week. And as you can see here, this is my week number 6. See, the capstone is a little bit different because you only have discussions in week 1 and in week 6. I mean, there's a gap. So I need to, just an FYI, definitely keep students engaged via announcements and other ways when there's a huge gap in discussions. That's a side note. But anyway, back to the FFR. As you can see here, I started posting on the 4th, which is the Sunday prior to the week actually starting, and I posted the 6th, the 7th, the 8th, the 9th, and the 10th. And the reason why I posted on the 4th is because what I did was I created a message. And remember I said the key word here is intentionality. That's the first thing. I created a message where I spoke directly to the students and everything that the students were needing to address. In other words, providing some instructional presence here on what needed to be addressed for the week, and then also sharing my professional insight and validating what I'm saying about as it relates to successful implementation and critiquing a plan by bringing in an outside resource. So that message went out. I think it's like 15 posts for this week, but that message went out to students, to all five groups that I have set up here. Now, there's 3 ways that I engage, and I engage the typical way that we engage by, providing information via text and demonstrating, say, intellectual as well as instructional presence. One, I respond to the student, tell the student, hey, you made this statement, and here's what I think about this statement, and I think your plan is genius. In other words, you want to make sure that you encourage the students inside of the discussion. And then I bring in my opinion based on what I think that they should do, right? They should do, or you should look at, size, annual revenue, etc., look at competing companies, and then to validate what I'm saying, I also bring in an outside resource, but I also share this resource in terms of what the student, make the information relevant, what the student is looking to do. So what I basically said to the student was, hey, look, if what you're trying to do is create a mobile tennis instructor app, you might want to think about it's an on-demand service. Look at competing companies, okay? So I brought in that outside resource. That's one way, which is the typical way. Then another way is to, when you're responding to the student, bring in an outside video to kind of validate what you're saying. Well, actually, this is the same as the other one, but let me show you here. Let me see if this is the one with innovation. Okay, same type. Okay, so let's just take a look at this. So what I also do is this. Sometimes it helps when you speak directly to the student. The student can see your face and hear your voice. So in this particular instance, as a side note, before I play this video, always keep your videos between 3 to 5 minutes. Here, I'm sharing
Hey, what's up, Chris?
my professional insight on the student's plan and what he should do or what he should also consider when critiquing other plans and the things that he should look for in the market as it relates to challenges and weaknesses in a plan. That's one way. And then lastly, the one thing that I do is, say if a student is missing an element, it is a great way to engage them by actually capturing their screen, and in the midst of capturing their screen, not saying, hey, you're missing this element, but you need to also consider this. And so I actually go through their post.
Hey, Cynthia, how you doing?
And then in the midst of going through their post, I actually go over to Google and show them how to conduct the research. And so this is just a fantastic way, and keep it to the 3 to 5 minutes. I'm going to end this post in just a second. These are 3 different ways that you can show different looks in terms of engagement. And I hope this email in this video answers your questions.